Here we go. Tuesday night, 8:30. It is Eat My Goal. We are live. It's me, Mike, and him, Dan. Evening, Dan. How are you?
Evening.
Evening. How's your cough?
You what?
How's your cough?
How's the cough? Still remnants of it. Yeah, still there behind the scenes.
Still going strong.
Still there in the tables in the background.
6 or 7 months in.
Yeah.
Still going.
Yeah.
All right, so we are here to talk about the Port Vale game at the weekend. Portsmouth against Port Vale at Fratton Park. What a game it was. 4 goals. Thrilling. It was a comeback. Not the game we expected. We'll then look at the we'll then look ahead to the Forest Green game at the weekend. They've suddenly found a bit of form. They've beaten Wednesday last weekend. We'll then also have a look at the 125th anniversary celebrations. We'll briefly talk about the England game as well, if that's all right, or England games, if that's all right with me. Lovely, and maybe we'll squeeze a little quiz in there somewhere. I've got a nice little quiz for you tonight, Dan. Dan leads 10-7 on the quizzes, so I'm hoping to get back in the mix. Every week? 10-7. It's been 10-7 since you started coughing. Okay, let's kick off with Port Vale. Dan, what was
you can kick off because you were there, weren't you? The atmosphere. You were there.
We were there.
North.
And we were in South Stand. Me and my boy went to the game. And as you do, I imagine a lot of people do the same sort of thing. En route, we talked about score predictions, and as people who are regular watchers will know, we tend to be a little bit pessimistic. But I was actually very optimistic going into this game, and I genuinely said 3, possibly 4-0 at this game because we were in decent form. We'd won the last 2. Port Vale were in pretty wretched form. Bishop was banging in goals for fun, and we just looked fairly cohesive. I know we didn't have morale due to playing for the Welsh boys, and I know we didn't have Scarlett, which I didn't think was an issue in the slightest, but I thought we'd be all right. And we weren't. We weren't all right. And the strange thing was that those players that there's a lot of players who are quite inconsistent in the side, such as Ogilvie, such as Raggett, such as Tunnicliffe, etc. Now. But the people who are normally consistent, such as Macy's been consistent since he's come in. Towler's been consistent since he's come in. And Bishop's been consistent since he's been there. The 3 of them had an absolute mare.
Yeah.
Macy, so actually, and also Ratcliffe, what am I about? Rafferty.
Kevin Ratcliffe.
Just all 4 of those just seemed to have a little bit of an off going. So obviously the first we started slowly. It was just.
Well, I think Macy sort of made up he all the errors that the Luton fans said that he would make. He decided to make them all in that first half, didn't he?
All in a 45-minute period. But what can you say? It's just bizarre, isn't it? So you had obviously the first goal came 10 minutes in, something like that. It felt earlier, but maybe 10 minutes in. Yeah. It was already at that stage, I thought, a strange sort of game. It just seemed we were just hoofing it long. They were pressing really well, which was fair play to them. They pressed really, really well, I thought, up top. But
wasn't he?
Harrison seemed very up for it. It actually had a very good game, apart from obviously giving away the penalty, which let us back into it. But
there goes Mike's belt loop.
It's time. I'm on a countdown now. I've got to get going in a minute. But it's just very strange. Rafferty obviously got beaten by Harrison for the start of the first goal. Ball in, should have been dealt with by Ogilvie. Don't know what he was doing. Had his clown shoes on.
I'm not sure you can blame Ogilvie. It shouldn't have got to that point, should it?
It shouldn't. Whether you could blame him or not, but I think also Tunnicliffe sliding in didn't help him, did it?
I think that was why he didn't control it.
So, there was that one, and then what can you say about the second one? Firstly, I don't like these short goal kicks where you're kicking it to the goalkeeper.
I just don't.
I don't mind it so much if your keeper's playing it out and you've got a little bit of an angle option somewhere, but he was obviously clearly closed down. He was just a little bit casual in his clearance, wasn't he? Went
I
straight.
I just don't see the point in doing this every single time. Yes, we're not all as good as Man City, playing the ball out from the back, and our goalkeeper's like the 12th outfield player. And it's just like sometimes you don't have to play those. Like why did Raggett didn't need to play the ball back to Macy or to Macy across the goal? You know what I mean? It's just
we weren't gaining anything from it, were we? If he's going to kick it long, just kick it long.
Yeah,
from the kick.
Yeah.
So
and then the amount of time the guy had to actually score, and if you watch the goal, he doesn't actually take a touch either. Have you seen that? He's
so much space, isn't he?
Yeah, he's got so much space, and the ball actually spins in front of him, and then so he doesn't even take a touch.
It's a good finish, but I also don't understand why Macy didn't go for it. He was very flat-footed, wasn't he? On the bearing in mind he's just giving the ball away. You'd think he's kind of on his toes, trying to make amends, but no.
Yeah.
So 2-0 down. What was that in 25?
Yeah, that was. Yeah, it was just a rotten first half, wasn't it? Really.
Yeah, and it could have been much worse. And even having said that, when the penalty was given, there's two or three instances very, very similar beforehand. The referee kind of ignored. The referee was similar sort of standard. He was probably one of the better ones we've had this season, but similar standard to the others we've seen. But there's similar ones. And eventually he gave it, and I thought actually that was probably the softest one that he did eventually give.
Yeah.
But even as he put the ball down, Finney called it. He's like, he's going to miss. You know when you just see a player and you think, for whatever reason, he's not going to score. And there was a little bit of a thing going on. And you know what? I think Newcastle did it a couple of weeks ago, whereby
hold it,
who was it? Trippier had the ball, and who was it who took the penalty?
I can't remember his name.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so they did that. That seems to be the new thing that all players are doing now. I can't remember who had the ball, but I think it was Tunnicliffe. But clearly, you knew Bishop was going to take it.
Yeah.
So Bishop eventually came over. There's a little bit of chat, a little bit of laughing between Bishop and whoever was winding him up. But clearly, it worked because Bishop took a pretty weak penalty, didn't he? And
he put it in the same place that he put his last penalty, didn't he? Which I found quite surprising.
His last one was quite well placed, though, wasn't it?
It was right in the corner, but it was if you don't get it right in the side netting, and you do that, what he did on Saturday, then if the keeper goes that way, I just thought it was a strange choice to put it in, because I would have thought the keeper would have gone, well, I saw your last penalty and you put it there, so I'm just going to go that way again. And
so he did comfortable save. Obviously got a bit lucky with the bounce because it could have gone straight back to Bishop, but kind of bounced past him. And that pretty much summed up the first half. To be fair, what I would also say about I'd say early part of the second half is because we started really slow again, and I think it's the quietest I've heard Fratton Park until we scored the first one.
Yeah,
because it went quiet for a long, long period. As in quiet for Fratton Park. Obviously, we got back into it. Penalty, we did a little bit of a desperate lunge from Harrison on it, but I thought we were starting to get a bit of a head of steam. Then we scored the second one pretty much straight away, which I thought was a good finish.
Yeah. Goes
to show again what happens when you get the ball in the box, which was one of the few times we actually did on Saturday. But then again, just went back to being lackluster, and Port Vale looked at that point maybe the more likely team to score until Hackett's effort in the last. Well, I think it was in stoppage time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Don't know. Thoughts, Dan? Thoughts? See, my thought. Well, sorry. Go on. Your thoughts. Go on. I've spoken enough.
Well, it was just poor. It was just poor all around, and I think it was just one of those games where. I don't know. I said it a lot this season that when we come up against any sort of attackers that have got a bit of energy and a bit of, they're going to battle for every ball. And Harrison was that, and you could see he was up for it.
And what was the other guy? Matt Bianco. Taylor. Was it Taylor? Matt Bianco. Yeah. Matt Munro.
Matt Taylor. And it's just that. the fact that they had the energetic strikers, that's never good for us. And then the fact that coupled with people like Towler having their worst game so far.
He got bullied a little bit.
Yeah. And it was, like you say, it was just a lot of long balls. It was just pretty much the worst sort of a good example of what we've been like this season at our worst.
Yes.
If that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It was very reminiscent in my mind of the both Charlton games, I would say. Yeah. Certainly the one at home. I'd say the Wickham game away, very similar, sort of just flat, just nothing, no energy, no kind of commitment, they were first to everything. I had a guy behind me constantly just commentating basically, but commentating kind of interjected with F-bombs. And it was just like we're every second to this, every, and it's just like constant. But he was right. He was absolutely right. We were second to every single ball.
And he did take Towler off.
Yeah, fair play.
Yeah, I mean there was no injury there, so I thought that was quite a. He
explained in he felt he needed a bit of experience on there.
Yeah,
and it worked.
Yeah,
I thought Robertson actually had a decent second half.
Quite a surprising substitution, but a good one, I thought.
Yeah. And I thought it was good for Robertson because he obviously got slated for his game against Bournemouth under 21s or whatever they were. And I thought he did all right. I know I've seen a few people say that he was a toilet, but I actually thought he did all right. I didn't see him lose a header. He did a couple of misplaced passes, but other than that, I thought considering he hasn't played for a while in the first team, I thought he did okay.
Yeah.
But I don't know. For me, it comes back to if your team, if you want to get a bit of a roll going, if you want to get consistency, your manager's got to get your team up for it at the beginning. I know you can say there's a lack of quality, but and we did have a little bit of a lack of depth on the bench, I thought, at the weekend. But I don't know. I just feel that we need to be up for it. We weren't up for it from the off. They were, and that's we're 2-0 down before we started.
Mm-hmm.
So infuriating.
Yeah, and I think the problem is we've only got 13, 14 players, haven't we? Anyone outside of that is going to be someone that hasn't played at all this season or hasn't played much or is a youngster. So
it's one of those games where you kind of when you're 2-0 down, you think, oh, I'm going to take a draw now. But when you're on the train there, you're thinking, if we draw this game, that's a shocker, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, so that's that. It's out of the way. It's gone. If you want to look for positives, who was it lost? Was it Bolton that lost the weekend? So we did gain a point on them.
Yeah,
they lost to Peterborough, who are obviously also a team who are above us. So
weather was all right Saturday.
Weather was nice. Yeah. Weather was nice. It was nice sitting outside having a Henry Weston's, which kicked in around about the same time as their first goal, which made it all the better.
Yeah.
Anywho, so Forest Green at the weekend. Ordinarily, you'd say easy peasy, isn't it?
Well, bottom of the league. Who have they beaten? Eh? Oh yeah, Sheffield Wednesday. Yeah. Yeah. Well. Yeah. No, I don't know, Mike. I don't know.
If you look at the form table, we're 6th in the form table.
Are we?
Yeah. Last 6 games, 6th in the form table, 10 points. But then there's a lot of teams on 10 points, so we're 6th on goal difference, really.
Yeah.
Ipswich have won their last 6, scoring 16, conceding 0. Nice. That's pretty decent form, isn't it? Whereas Forest Green are 20th. Their win against Sheffield Wednesday last weekend lifted them up a little bit. But other than that, they've got 1 point in their last 6 away games.
Yeah. Let's just
on top of that as well, obviously. Yeah. Go on.
No, I was just to say they haven't got energetic strikers, have they?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
probably. And Big Dunk's their manager now as well, isn't he? Duncan Silvers. Yeah.
Big Dunk. Jesus.
Did you not see the interview where he was asked whether he was going to turn vegetarian?
Oh, yes. I did see this, yeah.
That's the sort of question you want to know, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's just wind up Duncan Ferguson, shall we? I don't know what he responded, but it wasn't a straightforward
Did you
no.
do
Go on, prediction for the weekend then.
0-0.
I hope not. Oh, I hope not. I'm going to
Well,
go
no,
for a
we
win.
were all excited last week, weren't we? We were all excited.
Yeah,
And we
I
said,
know.
really optimistic about this one. It's going to be 2 or 3-0. Nice, comfortable win against Port Vale, but then back to the same shower of shit last week and then or the weekend. So I don't know. Let's just go. I'm going to go for a 1-0 win then.
1-0.
1-0 win.
To celebrate our 125th year, we're going to have a 1-0 win against Forest Green. I think it's the first time Forest Green have been at Fratton Park as well.
Is it?
But if anyone watching knows better than that, but I think is it, or have they been last year, the year before? No, this is their first year in League One. Mate, we didn't play them in League Two, did we? I don't know.
Carry on talking.
It doesn't ring a bell. But yeah, so speaking of 125, if anyone does know, by the way, pop it in the chat and also put your score prediction in there. Let us know what you think the result will be at the weekend. This weekend also marks the 125th anniversary, or it's the game that marks it, I suppose, because it's actually officially next week, isn't it? So there's a whole host of things.
Can I just interject? According to this website, we've never played Forest Green.
Okay.
Is that correct?
No, we played them earlier in the season. We beat them 1-0, didn't we, at their place?
Well, yeah, no, before this season.
Oh, before the season? Yeah, I wouldn't have thought we did.
Oh, okay.
They've kind of rose through the pyramid, and we've sunk through the pyramid, haven't we?
Fair enough. Oh, I'm thinking not Forest. I'm thinking of Nottingham Forest Green.
Nottingham Forest Green pitch.
Yeah,
is what you're thinking of.
Yeah, sorry, go on.
Yes. Which is near Sherwood Forest, I believe.
Yes.
Anyway, so a host of events going on at Fratton Park this weekend. Do you know what they are, Dan? They're prepared to get excited.
Yeah, it's the match and some old ex-players.
Some old ex-players will be taking part. They're making a trip back to Fratton Park.
Yeah.
And they'll be doing Q&As in the Victory Lounge and also in the fan zone. Oh, fan zone. I've never been to the fan zone, so me and Finley thought we'd seek it out. Couldn't find it. Anyone who knows where the fan zone is, please tell me. I thought it was behind the Fratton end by the Victory Lounge. There's a bar there, but not much else going on. So, I don't know. Do they bin it off at some stage? We were there around about 2:20, I think. 2:30.
Would they be selling burgers outside the ground?
I think so. Yeah. And programs outside the ground.
Yeah.
With 125 years on it.
Yeah.
There will also be Champions of England display in the North Stand, containing memories of the title-winning sides 49 and 50. Okay, that's purely North Stand only, that one. So in the South or the Fratton end on Lockie, and there'll be, get this, bespoke merchandise on sale. Okay,
when you say in the North Stand, what exactly do you mean? Where?
Well, it says on the mezzanine, so I don't know. Is that in the little small bar areas that are kind of halfway up the North Stand? I don't know.
All right. Oh, okay.
We only generally go in the north upper, don't we? So maybe the north. Where's the mezzanine? Where is this mezzanine? Again, in the chat, tell us where the mezzanine in the North Stand is, if you will. So there'll be some merchandise as what's his name? Old Jermaine Genius would say. Pompey getting the old coin there. Coin. And finally, supporters can soon write their name in history to be part of the legacy by pre-ordering a copy of the official history of Portsmouth Football Club. I assume that's a book. It doesn't say. It won't be a DVD these days, will it?
No. And how do we write our names in history?
I assume you can maybe pay to be in the book, perhaps.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Doesn't say.
Really?
No info. But more info coming soon, Dan.
That'd be a good page. That'd be a good few pages, just a list of people's names.
One thing that's been going mad on Twitter this week is we're not mad, but people have been commenting on the 125th anniversary badge. What do we think?
Show it. You must have a picture.
Okay, I have got a picture right here.
Well, I'll tell you exactly what I think, Mike. I think
it looks like
they're
this.
Damned if they do, damned if they don't. I think they couldn't win whatever badge they put out. because I agree that it is pretty boring and pretty safe. It's not the greatest, is it? It's basically the badge, and then let's just put celebrating 125 years below it.
Yes. But on a little flag thing, little banner.
Yeah, but if you'd started messing around with it, then you'd get the other lot, wouldn't you? Going, oh, what are they doing to the badge? Why don't you just make it simple? So they were never going to win either way. But I do think it is slightly boring. I have laughed at some of the other ones that people have created, and people are going, oh, that's lovely. That is lovely, with things like unicorns and seahorses and the Merry Rose on top of Harry Redknapp's head and things like that. But,
Jimmy Dickinson skipping through puddles and stuff like that. I actually saw one that actually looked quite nice, which was like in I don't know. Initially, I thought it was the official one, but it was like a gold. Somebody did
yellow,
like a little gold.
I've seen, yeah.
I didn't look at it that much.
More yellow than gold, but yeah. more of a piss colour, but yeah.
More of a 10 pints piss colour, was it?
Yeah. I don't know. What do you think? I like I say, I think it's
exactly the same. Exactly the same. To be honest with you, I think it looks as if it's been done on Canva or something like that. Someone's knocked it up in about 20 minutes, and they've probably chucked several up similar, and just gone. What do you think of this, lads? And they've gone. The thing for me, I'm just going to show it again, and I'll show you because I do a little bit of design as part of my work. What you can see here is obviously this is quite three-dimensional, the actual badge, whereas this very much isn't. I know you've got the kind of swirly bits, but it doesn't even match in. I'd have got the lines even matching in because you've got a two-tone thing here, two-tone around the badge. I'd have put it two-tone around here just to make it look a little bit crisper, but hey, that's me.
Yeah, just spend a bit of extra time, spend a few minutes extra on it, rather than just get it matching in. Who's done the badge? Has anyone done the badge? Has anyone done the badge? Quickly do a badge. Somebody quickly do a badge. We've got
badge goes out tomorrow. Badge goes out tomorrow. This is at like 10 to 5 on the day before. 10 to 5. Well, who's on badge duty? Yeah. Oh, I forgot to allocate Dave badge. So
they've got COVID.
Of the 30 players that are going along, Dan, do you know who's going along?
Yep. Prozinecki.
Prozinecki,
yeah. Merson.
Yeah, Merce, yeah.
Merson.
That's two of the names that won't be there, or so far I haven't confirmed.
Clive Whitehead. Mark Kelly.
Jimmy Carter.
Yeah. Lee Sharp. Yeah.
Lee Sharp be there, yeah.
Steve Wigley.
Yeah, for sure. He'll be there.
Amy Vincent.
Harold Rappenar.
Yeah.
No, none of them are there, unfortunately. There will be the likes of Chris Burns.
He always shows up.
Burns.
Yeah, he always makes an appearance.
You've got Noel Blake, of course, Alan Bailey, of course, Crawford, Ray Crawford, Michael Doyle of a more recent team, Johnny Ertel, Colin and Garwood, the big Herman Horizon is there, Martin Cool, Gavin Maguire, I knew Gavin Maguire would be there, Pedro Mendes, Mick Mellows, John Milkins, Dave Monks, David Norris, Daryl Powell, Colin Sullivan, Todorov, Vinny, Paul Walsh, Waterman and Wood. A couple of names, obvious names that I think I'm surprised because I know they still live in the area. They live not too far from me. In fact, I'm surprised aren't on there. It's the likes of
Cowleys,
like Limboy. Cowleys, yeah. No, Limboy's not. Limboy I would have thought would have been on there.
Oh yeah. It's not Sunday.
And no. Whittenham, I assume he must be kind of doing the commentary, but
he must be.
You'd have thought he'd come down onto the pitch, though, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And Claridge, I would have thought, would have. Again, he lives fair and away, doesn't he?
Mind you, I've read his book, and he's always 50-50 whether what sort of mood he's going to be in, isn't it?
I guess so. But still, yes, interesting. Array of folk. I don't know how they can do the Q&A, but
some good names.
There are some good names. I'm sure it'll be a great day, especially if we pick up the points against the the Forest of the Green in our first game against them at Fram Park. So, Dan, let's talk about Pompey's squad, because we talk about how they are on the pitch. Obviously, there's 13 players out of contract at the end of the season. 5 loans returned to their parent clubs. That's 18 players disappearing. Richard Hughes this week has said we need evolution, not revolution, which I know is a little thing you liked. Yeah, very Alan Partridge-esque. But he said we're probably going to need 9 to 10 new players. 9 to 10 when coming in, when 18 are going out, doesn't seem to be right. So I don't know whether
it doesn't seem to be enough.
Well, not if 18 are leaving and 9 to 10 are coming in.
No.
Sure.
But no, you're quite right. But I like the fact that we are looking for 9 or 10 new players rather than just, we only need 3 or 4 in certain positions.
A bit of a top up.
Yeah.
Right. So what we're going to do is we're going to quickly go through the squad and I'll give our opinion on stay or go. So hit it.
Ready? Okay, Macy.
Yeah, I think we've got to get him on board. I think Port Vale was a one-off bad game. Every other game he's been consistent, and hopefully he won't repeat Port Vale again. So yes.
Yep, I agree. Towler. Yep. Although I did see a few people saying he's not good enough after the weekend. He's not good enough. Got to get rid of him.
Little lightweight.
Shut up. One game. Yeah. Raggett. Borderline, I'd say squad player.
I think if we can keep him as he's okay for morale, but I hope better quality in.
Yeah, agreed. Ogilvy, again, borderline. I think.
I say yes.
At the beginning of the season, I'd say yeah, but I think he's a yes, but.
Up and down this season, isn't he? But I think he's been slightly more up than down.
Yeah. Rafferty?
Yeah, 100% yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tunnicliffe?
I think right back's the one place we don't need strength in. I think we've got two good right backs in Swanson and Tunnicliffe, Swanson and Rafferty.
All right, we'll do Swanson as well.
Good competition.
Yeah, Swanson's a yes. Tunnicliffe?
Based on recent form, I'd say yes.
I would. I think he's been our best midfielder, even.
Let us know what you think in the comments, by the way. People watching, if you have an opinion on any of these, then let us know.
Thompson. See, I've written down.
I'd say
I've written down why to Thompson, as in why.
But that's always
as in why do people love him so much?
I think he serves a purpose. I think, and I would say yes. I think he's good around the club as well. So.
Okay, I'd like him to be good around sort of this area, area here.
Yeah, I'm going to go yes anyway.
Okay, so if you've got all right. Okay then, Morel. Yep. Pack.
Yep. Yeah. But better, but early season form rather than recently.
Lane.
Don't know. Jury's out. Maybe we'll see. It could just be betting in. He's only young.
Yeah, I say exactly the same. I haven't seen. I don't think he hasn't impressed me as yet, but he is young. I think there is something there.
Yeah.
I think a few of the games he's been played out of position.
Is he Shania Twain in you, or is it Cheryl Cole? I forget, but don't press you much.
Yeah. Yeah. So he's Shania Twain.
Sorry, that would have worked better if I'd have known.
Borderline. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but he's obviously one for later down the line, isn't he? Potentially sell on at a bit of dollar.
Dale.
No,
I owe him.
Right. I just, with the exception of Macy, I'm going to caveat all of the other loanees can go, including Piggott. I don't get this whole Piggott's going to be the new Teddy Sheringham sort of thing.
Oh no, who said that? His mum.
Well, it was a few weeks ago, wasn't it? Someone was saying he is unplayable, he sits in that Sheringham type role. But no, he doesn't.
I also wrote down Dale Slippy. What was with the slippiness? Did you notice that?
Oh, there's a lot of slippiness though. There's a lot of slippiness. someone behind me said they've overwatered the pitch, but I think it was also down to the fact that it had been raining
Oh, okay.
quite a lot recently. But yeah, there was a lot of slippiness. It did seem quite soft, to the point where where they put the goals for warming up the keepers.
Yeah.
That was quite cut up quite badly around those areas. So didn't get to see what it looked like before they did it, but yeah, it was quite messy around there. So
Hackett, I'd
obviously, yes,
say squad player.
He's infuriating because one minute he can be great, next minute he's horrendous. But
yeah, that's sort of
that could be down
sums
coaching.
up the team really.
Yeah.
Piggott, you said Hume.
No. Sorry.
Robertson.
Don't know.
Don't know. Oluwayemi.
I guess so.
We need someone else, don't we?
Guess so.
Interesting one. Jacobs.
Again, he looked all right when he came on. I thought. Just runs really funny for a professional sports person, doesn't he? Doesn't look like it. He's the sort of kid, sort of person that if you went to school, you'd think, oh, he's definitely not a sports person, is he? But he's got a nice touch. I think when he plays in that 10 role, I like him. So yes, but he's obviously very chocolate, isn't he?
And more of a impact player, I think. Impact sub.
Yeah.
Than a 90-minute.
Yes.
Lowry, yes, if he can return to the form that he was in. Bernard. I don't quite understand what was the point.
Why is he here?
Why is he there? Bishop.
100%, but will he stay? No, we'll see.
He'll be gone. Scarlett Babai and Mingy.
Again, I think with the right sort of coaching, I think he could be a decent player. I think he's got some good touches. I think he does okay, but he kind of fades in and out of games again, doesn't he? So, I don't know. Yeah, I think let's say yes.
What about
again? Not a starter.
See, when I look at Mingy, I think he would be. Obviously, I am no professional football manager, and I've only seen him play a few times. But would he not be better out? Would he not be better out on the wings, on one rather than playing in the centre of midfield?
Maybe. Maybe I quite like his. We were talking about him actually the other day, and I quite like. He's quite good at transitioning. I think from defence into attack, he kind of carries the ball quite well.
Good word.
Yes. So I heard that on Match of the Day. So I thought I'd.
We never said that 5 years ago or 10 years ago.
No. What you said is you'd get it from defence into attack, wouldn't you? But now it's transitioning. Yeah.
XG, right, and so that's Mingy and Curtis. Let's wait. Wait for the injury.
Yeah, well, I can't see him staying. I don't think he would have wanted to stay had he not got injured, and I think he'll only want to stay now because he'll get paid whilst he's injured. So he's not going to be back till the new year, is he? So
no,
I don't know. Difficult one. I kind of like Curtis of 2 or 3 years ago. Obviously, a bit of a attitude, isn't he? But a bit of fire in his belly. But people like that, don't they? Sometimes.
So that's it.
But okay. Well, a lot of change. It's going to be a lot of change, isn't it? Again, it pretty much happens every summer, really, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We do a little shuffle.
I mean,
bring in some loan. I just hope we don't bring in loanies. Let's just try and. I'd rather a few free transfers that are a little bit of a punt than getting loan players in, even if they're free transfers who are older free transfers. 33, 34, been around the block a little bit, but know the league and are there purely to get us out of that league.
I mean, if you think about it, there's only 4 or 5 maybe that would be 100% starters, which would be Macy, Towler, Rafferty, Morel, Bishop.
Bare bones, Dan, isn't it? As one former manager might say, bare bones. One thing I would say is, and I think for those fans who are still kind of get your hand in your pocket, eyes, and let's spend some money on this team. Let's spend some. You've got plenty of money. Let's buy these players. I think if obviously if you do have the short memory of what happened to us 13 years ago, obviously Wigan struggling again, struggling to pay their players. 4 months apparently they've struggled to pay their players and their staff. Been deducted points in the last couple of days, I believe 3 points deducted due to financial issues. I think again that just says everything we need to know about Wigan. Obviously spent quite handsomely to get out of the League One, didn't they? And now they're, they could again see clearly going to get relegated, possibly double relegated. It's I'd rather sustainably grow slowly but surely and make sure when we get there we're there to stay. A little bit like, dare I say it, Brighton or Bournemouth did.
Yeah.
All right.
Nothing to add, but yeah.
Okay. Let's have a quiz, Dan. Let's get on to the quiz. Let's get some information. So,
let's hope you haven't been using.
For those of you who are new to this, we do a little quiz every week, a little football quiz. Dan is 10-7 in the lead. We do it penalty shootout style. We do it alternate questions. I have a theme this week, which is, you'll like this, internationals, because it's been an international break. So, internationals, and specifically England internationals.
Good. Between 1986 and 1996?
Yeah, just say yes. Yeah.
Then I'll be fine.
Yeah, and maybe a few either side,
right.
As in a lot.
Go on then.
But okay, well, have you got a theme?
Yeah, football.
Okay, excellent. Well, I'm going to go first. Now, my theme is this. I'm going to give you the name of 2 players. You got to tell me who's got the most England caps.
We got a visitor.
Out of those 2 players. Have you what,
no,
cats?
No. What's going on? Are we coming in? Cats. Brilliant. Someone just opened the door and said cats. Right, sorry. Carry on.
Okay, here we go. So I'm going to give you 2 players. You got to tell me who's got the most caps out of these 2 players. I'll tell you, every single one is very, very close. So it's not even one of those. It's a bit of a guessing game. So here we go. First is the Battle of the Glens. Glenn Johnson or Glenn Hoddle? Whom has the most caps out of those 2?
I would
go
say...
your gut.
Sorry?
Go with your gut.
My gut says that there's more internationals in Johnson's day than there were in Hoddle's day. So I'm going to go Johnson.
Wow. Glenn Hoddle, 53 caps. Glenn Johnson, 54 caps. You are correct. 1-0. Take it away.
Right. Here we go. Generic question number 1.
All right.
It'll probably be that I've read these to you before, but never mind. Just pretend.
Right.
Just pretend that you've never heard them. Right. Former Bayern Munich defender Philipp Lahm once went an impressive 13 months doing what? Not committing a single foul or covering the most distance in every game he played.
13 months?
13 months, not committing a single foul or covering the most distance than any other player.
They can't go third. Yeah, on the pitch, not rather than in the whole world.
You'd think, wouldn't you? Yep, you'd think.
Yeah.
It's not committing a single foul.
Wow, fair play.
Yeah, there you go.
It's like Maldini-esque, isn't it? Okay, here you go. Here's your second bunch of players.
I found that on a website and then I Googled to see whether it was actually
just
true.
Double check.
Quite a few websites.
Fact check.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Battle of the left backs. Is it who had the most caps out of World Cup winning George Cohen or whinging scumbag Wayne Bridge?
Cohen or Bridge? Whinging scumbag. Let's go with George Cohen.
Wayne Bridge, 36 caps. George Cohen, 37 caps. You are right to go, George. It's 2-0 to you.
Now.
Handsome
right,
lead.
you need this one.
Okay.
You need this. Okay. True or false, Mike? Wolfsburg once had a manager called Wolfgang Wolf.
I know this to be
Oh,
true.
God.
I know this to be true. I remember playing Football Manager once, and I thought they'd made up. I thought, oh, they can't be bothered to make up a real name for the Wolfsburg manager. But then I looked it up, and it was actually
Wolfgang Wolf. That's correct.
Of Wolfsburg.
2-1. Good finish.
He then left and went to Wolves, didn't he?
Yeah.
Okay, 2-1.
Right.
Here we go. So, Battle of the Sirs, this time Knights of the Realm. Is it Sir Geoff Hurst or Sir Lord Jimmy of Dickinson, MBE? Not actually a Sir, but close enough.
Now, being that this is a Pompey podcast, I know exactly how many Jimmy Dickinson has got. I've just got to,
of course,
work out whether.
Think about Geoff Hurst, haven't you? Dickinson or Hurst?
Dickinson.
World Cup hat-trick scorer. I can tell you, Sir Lord Jimmy of Dickinson, MBE, has 48 caps for England. Sir Geoff Hurst, 49. You were wrong to go Dickinson. Ooh, it's 2-1. I can get back in it.
Right, here we go.
Get back in.
You'll be fine with these. You'll get all these. Okay.
Right.
Which team were eliminated from the World Cup in 2006 without conceding a single goal? Was it New Zealand or Switzerland?
Oh, it was 2006. That was the Crouch World Cup, wasn't it? It was Switzerland.
It was Switzerland. Correct.
Yes.
I think
okay.
I put New Zealand in there because I think they not. I don't think it was 2006, but I think they were eliminated from the World Cup without losing. I think they drew.
Oh, okay.
But no, Switzerland. They got through to the next round, whatever it's called, and they lost to Uruguay 6-5 on penalties.
Oh, wowzers.
There you
go. Okay, here's your next two. These are the Northeast crew. Our good friend, old PBC, and Chris Waddle.
Oh, that's a tricky one as well, isn't it?
Chris Waddle or Peter Beardsley? 80s/90s ledgers for England-ish.
See, I remember so much more of Beardsley playing for England, but whenever I seem to watch these old clips, Waddle always seems to be there.
With his mullet.
Yeah, I'm going to go Waddle.
Doing his lazy little step overs. And somehow bamboozling. Okay, Peter Beardsley had 59 caps for England. Chris Waddle, 62. You were right to go Waddle. 3 to the 2.
No, I did say Waddle, didn't I? Yeah. Right.
Okay, here we go. This is it.
Right. Which Manchester United defender finished as their joint top scorer in the league, along with Brian McClare in the 1991 season? Was it Dennis Irwin or Steve Bruce? Now, bear in mind, Mike is a Manchester United fan.
A closet Man United fan.
Answer.
I do know this answer. It's Steve Bruce. I think he scored about 19 or
13 in the league and 19 in total.
Steve Bruce. Yes, I remember the season well. Okay, here's your one to. What's that? Level pegging, is it? Yeah, it is. Because I went first. So your final one is the Battle of the Terrys. John Terry, Terry Butcher.
I was hoping you'd say Terry Scott. That would have been easy. Well, John Terry and Terry Butcher. No, it's John Terry all the way. It's John Terry. It's not.
Are you sure?
Are
you sure?
Terry,
Are you sure? Terry Butcher.
John Terry has.
John Terry has 78 England caps. Terry Butcher has 77.
That's close, wasn't it?
You are right. Yeah. Very close. Very close indeed. John Terry just nicks it. Okay, so this for the draw or for 11-7.
Is it the draw? Right. Okay.
Yeah, it's 4-3 at the moment. We've only got one wrong each.
Oh yeah, 1, 2, 3. Oh, okay, right. This is it then. Right. Which of these awful players have scored more Champions League goals than Ronaldo, Zidane, and David Villa? Not together. Not combined.
No, individually, yeah.
So which of these awful players have scored more Champions League goals than Brazilian Ronaldo, Zidane, and
Oh, okay. Right.
Theo Walcott or Nicholas Bentner?
Wait. Walcott couldn't be, could it? Because he's obviously at Arsenal. They played it quite regularly, but I don't think he scored that often. Well, whereas Bentner's obviously gone elsewhere and probably nicked one or two. So I'm going to go Bentner.
You are wrong to go with Nicholas Bentner. It is in fact Theo Walcott with 15 goals. 15 Champions League goals.
Ronaldo scored less than 15?
Yeah. And Zidane and David Villa, which was in the question. Yeah. I knew Bentner would throw you. I thought I'll stick him with another awful, and he's a striker as well, so I thought stick him in.
I knew he was dogged there, and very much up himself, wasn't he? But oh well. So you are 11-7 ahead. There's a few more weeks. In fact, that may be. No, I think we might just be able to nick it. There might be enough episodes left to be able to nick it. Okay, Dan. Right. Good quiz. Well played. I thought I might get you on the old because there's only one in most of those. But
yeah, they were.
Right. Let's finish off. Let's finish off with a little bit of this. It's obviously been an international break. I know it's a public podcast, but let's talk about England. What did you make of firstly, the two performances, and secondly, the fact that young Harry is now the all-time leading scorer? That was inevitable that it was going to happen, wasn't it? It's been inevitable for some time.
Yes, very good. Very, very good. Well done, him.
Yeah, quality.
And he seemed quite angry, didn't he, against Italy? He was, and against Ukraine. He seems to be much more like before. When we saw him in the World Cup, he was looked a bit lackluster, I thought, but he seemed to be.
Yeah, he tends to, doesn't he?
But no, I thought the first half against Italy was one of the best performances I've seen in a long time. I thought they were brilliant first half. Yeah, I thought Kane was really good, and I don't normally like
Kane.
Yeah, I thought.
What is it you don't like about Kane?
I just don't. I think he scores goals, so that's what you want. But I just don't like his all round play. I think he's just a bit lazy, just a bit. But no. I mean, before the two games, before the Italy game, in the Italy game, he seemed to be back to lots of movement, lots of energy, winning fouls, crawling on the pitch. Yeah. When he got fouled, did you see that?
Yeah. Almost like who's that striker for Swansea? Who had that?
I saw it the other day.
Bolly?
No, I saw it the other day.
Horrendous celebration. He pretended to be a panther or something. Yeah. But that was similar to what Kane did, wasn't it?
I thought the first half was brilliant against Italy. I thought it was the best I've seen in a long time. I think. I think the only negative I could say would be Grealish trying to score the outside of his boot in the last kick. Did you hear the commentary? Did you hear Dion Dublin saying that it was a tough chance?
And it wasn't a tough chance, was it, Dion? Dion there should say, well, come on, lads, should just be side foot. In what I don't understand, in what way is it a tough chance? It's an open goal. It's been pulled back to you. You're in a perfect position. How's it a tough chance?
It's just get it on target. Side foot. Don't be clever and try and outside of the boot it because you 2-0 up. Just get it in 3-0, and then that's your comfortable-ish second half, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it would have been different.
Yeah. So I thought the first half was really good. Second half, I think, was not so good. I think you got to expect that Italy at home are going to come at you. But I thought the second half was not great. But then when I thought about it afterwards, other than the goal, there was no real clear-cut chances for Italy, was there?
No.
So
a lot of possession.
Yep.
A lot of possession, a lot of passy pass around the box. I thought we defended very well, actually, and particularly when we went down to 10. What did you think of the overzealous bookings from the referee in that little period? There was a little period, wasn't it, where he was booking people for pretty much anything?
Well, he sort of let a few go in the first half, didn't he? He let a few go in the first half, and then, like you say, he just started going, "Oh, well, I'm just going to start booking everyone now."
Do you reckon he forgot he had his yellow card, and then he realised somebody in his ear went, "Don't forget you got a yellow card."
Oh, yeah.
I love that yellow card. I love that card, and I particularly love it when it follows by a red. I love that. I thought the Luke Shaw first booking was harsh. I thought Walker's booking was harsh, although apparently Walker got booked twice as well, didn't he? But the referee missed it. That's not really been picked up on. So I don't know.
I heard them saying something about. I heard them say that they thought he'd got booked, and then when he did get booked, they said, "Oh no, he obviously didn't get booked." But I think because they weren't his supposed first booking, wasn't it? While there was a replay going on or something, so we didn't actually see what happened.
I'm not
I
sure.
can't remember. But I thought, very good,
decent, wasn't it? Decent. Very decent, and I thought we looked accomplished. And like you say, although it was nervy watching it, when in hindsight they didn't really create much of the Italians, did they? So you've got to look at that as a positive.
And when do we ever beat Italy, Mike?
When?
There you go.
Don't remember it. I remember the next best result. I remember obviously it's sung about on the 3 lines, but obviously drawing in Italy was the. I remember being heralded as being a sensation.
That's right.
We got a 0-0 that night, didn't we? And we were actually battered, if I remember right.
I was at Chiquito
that night against the much better Italian side back then, though, weren't they?
And I said it over the tannoy at Chiquito's to the whole restaurant, just to let you know England have gone through to the World Cup.
It was good. Then Ukraine, obviously. So my comment from the Ukraine game is I thought it was okay, but I've since seen a comment someone saying, "Is James Maddison now undroppable?"
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. He shouldn't have been in the team in the first place. So
did he? Well, I think he should. I don't think he should be playing out wide on the left, but I didn't think he had that great a game that makes him undroppable, does it? I think there's loads of competition for that place. Yeah. I think it's wide open for him, Rashford, Grealish, Foden, Sterling. Plenty of people in there that are good. So good result, but it wasn't the best performance. It was a bit dull.
But still. And it was sort of once the 2 first half goals had gone in, that was the end of the game, wasn't it? So second half was a bit of a non-event.
Bit of a dull one. But good. It's a good start. Obviously, you can only beat the teams that are in front of you. Italy are the next best team in that group. We've beaten them already, and so that's a very good start. We're going to win the Euros.
Yeah.
No, we're not. The answer to that is no.
Why not? Why not? Why not?
Why not? I'll tell you why not.
Southgate.
No. Actually, do you know what? For once, because of the victory over it, I've never been a critic of Southgate, but I've always felt his tactics are slightly negative, and I feel he makes bad decisions about making changes. But fair play to him. I still, hats off. I think he's obviously done a very good job. I just feel with the attacking talent that we have, we could actually attack teams a little bit more. But like I say, fair play. He's obviously done much better than anybody else in recent times. But I don't think that we won't win it because we've got a Southgate. I just think we won't win it because we choke at major tournaments.
But
we could. Okay. We could win it.
Semi-finals, final, and then silly quarter-final, wasn't it, against France? Was that quarter-final? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I didn't watch it. I was 2.
Same old. Should have won. Could have won. Didn't win. Okay, that pretty much wraps up. My goal. Have you got something else to add?
Yeah, Scotland are beating Spain 2-0.
Are they really? Are they actually? Wow. Kind of makes our Italian victory look Look, how far in are they though? Half time?
No, 10 minutes to go.
Wow, great result for the Scots. If that does so become a result, fair play. Well done to them if that happens. So that is it for this week's Eat My Goal. If you want to get in touch, all the details are down the bottom there. But I do realise that this does go out on Spotify as well. So it's at eatmygoal22@gmail.com. Tweet us, eatmygoal22, or follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/eatmygoal22. It's a lot easier when it's in front of you to remember those things. But I've been Mike, he's been Dan. We'll be back next week. Don't think there's a midweek game for Pompey, is there? So we will be on a Tuesday yet again. We'll see you then. Adios. Bye.